Hey, you clicked on my video. Appreciate it. Now be sure to like the video and subscribe to the page. Long enough to cover the subject and short enough to keep it interesting. Welcome to Outta My League. I'm Nick Diaz. As I said yesterday, it's going to get worse before it gets better. Now, if you have that expectation, then you won't be disappointed. So Xavier Pinson and Brandon Murray have entered the transfer portal. Now, there was a report that Adam Miller had entered the transfer portal, but he tweeted yesterday, that's not true. I haven't done anything. Now, I believe Adam Miller when he says that, but I also believe Adam Miller will eventually enter the transfer portal. He just hasn't done it yet. Now, Pinson, he did say something interesting on Instagram where he said, I have entered the transfer portal, but I'm still committed to LSU as my main priority. Kind of like when a recruit reopens their commitment because there's a coaching change. They say, hey, LSU is still the top school that I'm considering right now. I'm just looking elsewhere because of the coaching change. That's all that is. So it means he's listening to Matt McMahon, but also keeping his options open because, well, he just met him a couple days ago. Look, I expect every LSU men's basketball player that got significant playing time this season to enter the transfer portal. I expect those who didn't to enter the transfer portal. From day one of Will Wade's firing, I was asked, well, if you had to place a bet on who is the most likely to stay currently on LSU's roster, I said, well, that's easy. It would be Sharif O'Neal, who got significant playing time. He would be the one. And I say Sharif O'Neal would be the most likely to stay because Sharif O'Neal is really the only player on LSU's roster that is here just because it's LSU, just because he loves LSU, because of his dad, because he grew up an LSU fan. Everyone else that is on this team is solely on this team because of Will Wade. There are no local ties. There are no Louisiana natives on this team. Nothing. Sharif O'Neal is here because he grew up an LSU fan. And he had offers to play elsewhere. He was at UCLA, chose to come to LSU. He had offers from Kentucky and Arizona, but he's here because it's LSU. Now, it wouldn't shock me if other players who sat on the bench and were Will Wade recruits also stayed, because guess what? Now they get to be offered something that's more valuable than just about anything you can offer to a player. Playing time. And they're young, and so you'll only be out of the postseason for a year, maybe, or two. So you'll have plenty of time to get the playing time and, only be under sanctions for so long. It also wouldn't shock me if a guy like, say, Eric Gaines, who is younger, stayed at LSU and didn't enter the transfer portal and leave because he's been here going on his third year now. So this has become sort of a home for him, even though he is a Will Wade guy. He's also a point guard, what is Matt McMahon's specialty? Point guards. And it's not just Ja Morant, but every point guard he's coached has done well. So there's several ways that McMahon can keep a roster together that's serviceable. But when it comes to Xavier Pinson, who only has one extra year of eligibility left due to the COVID year, unless Xavier Pinson is just hell-bent on winning in the tournament next season, LSU can't really say they can offer that to Pinson for his final season. This is his last go-around. This is his last shot to play for a winning team in the tournament. But this can be an opportunity for him to get into the next level. I think most of these guys are going to leave. I do. But Matt McMahon's early recruiting pitch is his offensive reputation, his X's and O's. Look, the video that was going around the other day when Matt McMahon was hired of Bruce Pearl, who's a great SEC coach. Back in 2017, they played at Murray State, and he was saying, boy, this guy you got, he's a brilliant offensive mind. Brilliant. Bruce Pearl, he looked like his head was spinning after the game. He was taking a deep breath like, man, it was hard to out-XO this guy, Matt McMahon. Matt McMahon's half-court sets are seen as brilliant, seen as really innovative, really well executed. And so the sell to even Brandon Murray and especially Xavier Pinson and everyone else on the team for that matter is you didn't have this last year, or if you're Pinson, you didn't have this at Missouri either. You didn't have the offensive development. It was terrible. Look, Will Wade, he's a good coach, but he's not very good at teaching half-court offense, okay? But Matt McMahon can say, I have a reputation of being one of the best young coaches in the game at doing that specific thing. And that system that I run, they also run in the NBA. I can get you ready for a pro career in basketball. So for the older guys like Pinson and anyone else, but especially Pinson, that's the best selling point right now. So what's more important to you? 1 year of college to, maybe play in the tournament, or getting you in a system to prepare you for a longer career in the pros? Probably won't be NBA, but overseas, G League, whatever. You get paid for a long time. That's the best pitch Matt McMahon has at his disposal, besides maybe an NIL deal here or there. And for the young guys on the team, well, it's kind of the same thing, except, hey, we're not going to be under sanctions your entire time here, so why not stay, get some playing time? But also, you just got to get through this first season of the postseason ban, okay? Which we don't know for sure, but we think, and I think it'll probably just be 3 years probation, but only one postseason ban. But that's how you avoid total embarrassment for next basketball season, okay? One of the main goals should be serviceable, okay? It's not going to be good next year, but just try to keep a good product on the court for next season. My goal, do Will Wade's first year at LSU. Don't be Johnny Jones's last year where they won 2 SEC games and it was the worst season in 50 years at LSU. Do what Will Wade did his first year at LSU. What was it? They're like 3 or 4 games above 500 overall, a losing record in the SEC. I'll take it. They played hard. They were well coached. They were, a fun team to watch, even though they weren't that great besides Tremont Waters. Do that. That should be one of your goals for next season. And there is a way, I think, realistically, to approach that. Thanks for listening to Out of My League. If you like what you heard, be sure to like, share, and subscribe, or follow me on Twitter and Facebook in the description link below.